Thanks very much, Christian. You've actually caught me on the hop because I don't have a speech in my pocket, and I was expecting to speak after the main course, but I'm standing up, so on we go. Okay, Jesus. Okay, well, right. Here we go.
That's why you're sitting.
Okay, so I suppose first of all I'd like to thank the hotel for putting on what I'm hoping is going to be a wonderful spread. So fingers crossed on that one. I'd like to thank Mark, who's our paparazzi guy over here. And we'd like to thank Mary for the service earlier on. And of course Karen and I would like to thank our parents for all that they've done for us over the years. And I guess it's like with all of us, we wouldn't be the people that we are without everything that they've done. Unfortunately, Karen's dad cannot be with us today. Some of you may know Karen's dad passed away last year, unfortunately. He was a great guy, and he would have loved nothing more to be here on an occasion like this. He was a really great guy, but anyway, that's that. So, I'm not going to speak for that long. I think my brother Graham probably gets the occasion to speak for a little bit longer than me. So, on to this lady here beside me, and I'm not going to say too much, but you know, she's one of the most amazing women I've ever met in my life. She's one of the smartest women. She's capable of absolutely anything. Puts me to shame on so many counts. I mean, the one obvious flaw is she's a horrendous judge of character. And not just on me, that's why many of you are here in the room tonight as well. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. Well, actually I am, but I might go into that later on after a few points. But anyway, that's another story. So I don't know what to say. I suppose.
Not you.
Is that too loud? Sorry, I don't know what to say, but I was thinking. I think I told some of you this story before, but bear with me while I tell it again, because I'm sure some of you in the room haven't heard this. I suppose it's funny the way Karen and I met, because at the time, I suppose some of you know I'm a diplomat and I've lived in several places all around the world. But Karen and I met in, it was January 2004 at, there's probably no more romantic location to meet than at a European Union meeting. Yeah, it brought tears to my eyes as well. But anyway, yeah, so we met at a European Union meeting. We were introduced by a mutual Swedish friend of ours who can't unfortunately be here today because she's in Pakistan at the moment. But she sends us her regards. And anyway, Karen and I, you know, I met this stunningly beautiful woman from Denmark and thought, whoa. But then, unfortunately, I was told very soon afterwards that there was a Danish boyfriend. I think was it Steve? Steve? Anyway. Steve is obviously also a horrendous judge of character because he's not sitting here today. So that's another thank you, Steve. So another box tick there. He's on his way, fantastic. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. He's in the bridal suite. Hey! Well, you know what the Scandinavians are like, you never know. So anyway, yeah, so that was fine, you know, we enjoyed each other's company, we had a lot of fun, you know, Cairo, you know, Karen and I have lived in several places around the world, but, you know, Cairo is an amazing city, it's a magical city, and, you know, we really built up a great friendship. Getting to know the nooks and crannies, the magical sounds and noises and smells of Cairo, and we just had a wonderful time together. And then Karen went back to Denmark, and you know, as people do these days, we kept in contact occasionally by email. And about 6 months later, she sent me an email to say that she was coming back on a little whirlwind tour of the Middle East. So I said, yeah, sure, we'll hook up. And then I think she slipped in a line that herself and Steve were no longer an item. And I thought, I consulted my relationship advisor, Anthony, who's sitting down there. He also, AKA, no, we'll go into that later on, okay? So I consulted my relationship advisor, Anthony, at the time in Cairo, and I said, Anthony, I've got to do something about this, you know, so what am I going to do? So anyway, I was living in Cairo, the capital at the time, but we went down to the Sinai Peninsula, if you know it. It's not too far from the border with Israel. So Karen and I arranged to go down there, and we were going to climb Mount Sinai, where apparently or allegedly Moses had received the Ten Commandments. So we set off, I think it was around about midnight to climb Mount Sinai. I think the mountain's 2,200 metres high, or 7,000 feet. So it's about 400 times the height of the highest mountain in Denmark, I think, is it? Yeah. So anyway, we set off to climb this mountain. And,
6 minutes 30.
We're walking up this mountain, but it's January. I think was it like January the 7th or January the 8th or something like that. So it's actually bitterly cold, and the idea was we were going to get to the top of this mountain and see the sun rise over the Sinai Peninsula. And if anyone's been there, it's an absolutely stunning location. So we're standing, we get up, and of course, Karen being Karen, we had to run up the mountain. So we get there, we aimed to get there, I think it was 5 o'clock in the morning, but we got there at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we got there a little bit early. So we were kind of twiddling the thumbs and thinking, what do we do? So we're sitting there on a snow-covered mountain in Egypt in the middle of January, and you know, so we thought, okay, the sun will come up soon, so grand. But as we sat there and we relaxed, it got colder and colder and colder. And of course, I had been consulting Anthony and thought, you know, I want a bit of this lady. So I thought the setting is not so bad here, you know. Beautiful, historical, religious site. So Karen and I are sitting shoulder to shoulder, and but it's getting, you know, to try and generate some body heat. Okay.
In your shoulders.
So yeah. Oh, there's more coming. That's not. You haven't heard all the detail yet. So we're sitting shoulder to shoulder, but we're still getting colder and colder, so we're obviously not generating enough heat. Aha. So I said to Karen, this isn't working. So I says, I may have to try and recreate this scene here now, so you may have to bear with me. So I said to Karen, you know, we're going to have to get a little bit closer here. This is a friend of mine for a year at this stage, and there's been no hanky-panky or anything between us. We're genuinely just good friends at this stage. But we ended up sitting kind of...
End up sitting.
We ended up just to generate heat.
Yeah.
You're not finished yet. You're not getting away that lightly. So we're sitting there. I'm going to recreate this moment. So we're sitting there like this. And I think my words to Karen at the time was, I thought to myself, this is really an incredible segment. This couldn't be better, you know. I mean, if you're gonna do a first kiss, does it get any better than this snow-capped mountain in the middle of the Sinai Peninsula? I thought, wow, you know, this is incredible. So I said to Karen, but you must remember it's completely dark. So I said to Karen, there's more than one way we can keep warm here.
Cheesy chap.
So I said, turn around. So Karen turned around like this, and in the pitch black at 3 o'clock in the morning, I went to kiss Karen, but I missed her mouth completely, and my tongue managed to go up her nostril. So, yeah,
Tonguing.
You can't really understand the embarrassment of that moment, because actually I actually froze and I couldn't do anything else. So we actually came down off that mountain without ever having actually kissed. And because and it was never mentioned. It was like it hadn't happened. So it wasn't spoken about. So we came down and we went back to our hotel, and Karen had to go off somewhere else for a couple of days, but then she was coming up to Cairo a few days later. And I think again I may have had to consult Anthony and say, you know, we sat down and we had to analyse the situation and where this had gone wrong. And it took a little while to figure it out, but what we came up with was that I had a particularly hard Christmas with work and drink, and I had actually said that for January I was going off the booze. Aha! I had been stone cold sober, so the trajectory of the kiss was a little bit off centre. So I said, okay, so I actually, she's the only woman has actually made me go back onto alcohol. So I had to go back onto the booze to rectify it when she came back up to Cairo, and then it all fell into place then after that. So that was basically how we solved that problem. But I think afterwards I had to explain to Karen that the tongue going up the nostril was a traditional Irish custom that dated back to the Celtic era. So I'm sure you'll get many of the other Irish lads tonight may attempt something similar later on tonight. So anyway, that's kind of how Karen and I got together. It took a little while, but as they say, the best things in life are worth waiting for. And so I think I've got one of the best things in life here beside me, so I'm a happy man. And I've spoken already longer than I wanted to, but I'll just say, I just really want to thank every single one of you for coming here today. It genuinely means so much to Karen and I that all of you have made such an effort and time, effort, money and everything to come here from. There's people here today obviously from Denmark, obviously from Ireland, but also from Finland. People have travelled here from Finland, from Uganda, Zambia, Palestine, Dubai, the US, France and England. And it's just so wonderful for all of us that you've made such a big effort, and we're really, really genuinely touched that so many of you could make it here today, and it's really special for us. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
My sis is going to get married, my daddy. I'm going to get ring, and he has now already ring. Because she has her dress on, and everybody girls has her dresses. And then it's getting further today. And then is it going to be? I'm going to tell you about the story. Mommy has a baby in the bag.
What did she say? She said Mummy has a baby. I don't think anyone else knew.
Close in.
Right now, no people stand for now because we're not in the next dance.